Italy are Euro 2020 finalists. Barcelona to offer Griezmann to Chelsea. Argentina book their place in the Copa America final. Arsenal take action over Aouar, and a transfer roundup all coming up on today's OneFootball Daily News. As I'm your host, Angelina Kelly, let's get into it. First up, and it was another enthralling night of Euro 2020 football as Italy, of course, took on Spain for a spot in the final of the competition. And it was Italy who came out on top as they, of course, defeated Spain on penalties. In the first half, Spain definitely did impress, and as usual with Spain, they did have a really good share of the possession. But for Spain on the night, unfortunately, they just could not find the back of the net. They had so many missed chances that I'm sure they will be regretting. Italy also had their fair share of chances in what was a great end-to-end game of football. However, it was actually Italy that drew the first blood as Federico Chiesa scored a brilliant goal that sailed into the top corner from just inside the box, and it seemed like that would almost kill off the game. However, Alvaro Morata, who did start on the bench, came on with 10 minutes to go, managed to score the equaliser and wrote himself into the history books as he has now scored more European Championships goals than any other Spanish player. Thanks to Morata's equaliser, it seemed like he was perhaps able to rewrite the narrative of his Euro 2020 tournament, as whilst he has had some good moments, he's also faced a lot of criticism and has missed quite a few chances. So when the game did eventually go to penalties, it did seem like when he walked up for the spot kick that this would be his chance to redeem himself. But unfortunately, it was not meant to be, as Gigi Donnarumma did save his shot, and then for Italy, Jorginho walked up to the spot kick, cool, calm and collected, slotted that goal right in, and of course sent Italy through. To be fair, whoever would have been victorious on the night did deserve it, as both teams were absolutely brilliant and provided fans with so much entertainment at the Wembley Stadium. However, I think you can argue that Italy have just been so consistently excellent throughout this tournament, and it's amazing to see what Roberto Mancini has done with this side that, of course, didn't actually qualify for the 2018 World Cup. It's great to see them in the final. Of course, commiserations to Spain, but I think that they can still look ahead to the future with positivity, especially with the performances from Pedri at this tournament, who was absolutely phenomenal. Meanwhile, for Italy, they of course will be facing England or Denmark, who face each other tonight. And whilst England probably on paper have a lot more quality than Denmark, you cannot underestimate this Denmark team and how far they have come in the competition. And it'll be really interesting to see which nation prevails and will meet Italy at that final. And don't forget, if you want more Euro 2020 content, do not forget to check out the OneFootball app and the Volkswagen OneHub as well, and the links for both are directly beneath this video. Our next story is all about Barcelona and Antoine Griezmann, who could be sacrificed by the club in order to bring Lionel Messi back into the fold. So as I've spoken about previously on the Daily News, Barcelona are reportedly trying to free up as much money as they possibly can so that they can afford to re-sign Messi whilst conforming to La Liga's salary cap rules. And apparently, if they do not sort out this financial situation, not only could it jeopardise re-signing Lionel Messi, but it could also jeopardise the registration of their new players, the likes of Sergio Aguero, Memphis Depay and Eric Garcia. Therefore, with all of this in mind, as Barcelona prepare to clear the decks, it could be that Griezmann is a player that is sacrificed in the process. Therefore, according to a report from Sport, the club are looking at freeing up a bigger player in Antoine Griezmann, and according to this report, Chelsea are one of the clubs that are being kept informed of the developments, but also PSG could be interested in the player, as they have reportedly been a long-term admirer of the 30-year-old. Of course, when Griezmann did join Barcelona back in 2019, the buyout clause that Barcelona set was reportedly 800 million euros. The club have allegedly said that they understand that he would probably go for a fraction of that, and they are even realistic as to the fact that he probably will not even be going for around the 120 million euros that they paid when they signed the player. The report states that representatives of the players could be heading to London in the coming days to gauge interest not only from Chelsea but from other English Premier League clubs. Now, Manchester City have been linked to the player previously, but reportedly they are still focusing on potentially trying to sign the likes of Jack Grealish or Harry Kane. When Griezmann did make the move to Barcelona, it wasn't the smoothest of transitions, as of course he did have to adapt not only where he played on the pitch but his style as well. However, he is still an important player for them. He managed 20 goals last season, but with the arrival of Aguero and Depay, he is deemed as an expendable player now, and he may struggle to actually get a place in the starting 11. Pair this with the fact that he's reportedly one of the highest earners at the club, and could this actually become a reality? I mean, when you think about Chelsea, they are reportedly in the market for a striker. We do know that Griezmann can score goals. He does bring a wealth of experience, especially being a World Cup winner. And although Chelsea were allegedly interested in the likes of Erling Haaland and Romelu Lukaku, it doesn't seem like either of those players are moving anywhere at the moment. So could Griezmann be another option for the club? And next up, depending where you were watching it, maybe it was last night or the early hours of the morning, there was a Copa America semi-final between Argentina and Colombia, as both did battle to try and get a spot in the final against Brazil. Now, of course, Neymar has already stated that he would love to see Argentina in the final so that his nation Brazil could face them, and he got his wish as Argentina went through to the final on penalties. Argentina got off to a great start as they scored an early goal thanks to Lautaro Martinez and a great assist from Lionel Messi. However, Colombia definitely still had their chances, and in the second half they certainly caught Argentina sleeping as they managed to get an equaliser. As the game went into extra time, things got a little bit heated. 7 out of the 10 yellow cards in the game came in the final 30 minutes, but you couldn't separate the two teams, and of course it did go to penalties. And whilst there were some great penalty scorers for Argentina, it was their goalkeeper Emi Martinez who was the hero of the night, as he managed 3 saves to send Argentina to that final. What this means is that we have the first Super Clásico de las Americas in the Copa America final since 2007, as Lionel Messi heads into his 5th international final for Argentina as he looks for his first piece of silverware. It's not going to be easy to beat Brazil. They have been looking really great in the competition so far, but this is going to be such a thrilling match between two brilliant nations. Our next story is all about the Houssem Aouar and Arsenal rumour. It has reared its head again, and according to reports now from France, Arsenal seem to be closer than ever to getting a deal for the player. So according to reports that haven't been confirmed yet, pre-season training has begun for Lyon, and Aouar apparently has not shown up. If this is the case, I guess it is understandable, as Aouar has stated that he does seem to want to move away from the club. Lyon are reportedly willing to let him go for around 20 to 25 million euros, and Arsenal are reportedly opening discussions with the club that are allegedly going quite well. However, Arsenal fans do not get too excited, as other clubs are interested, mainly PSG and Atletico Madrid. However, when you look at PSG, they of course have already signed a player in central midfield in Jorginho Wijnaldum. They already have Marco Verratti. Then when you look at Atletico Madrid, they already have Saúl Ñíguez and also Koke. So when you think about where he could maybe get more game time, I think that Arsenal would probably be the answer to that. But one thing that Arsenal fans can get excited about is that despite the fact that there have been a lot of outgoings through that exit door at the Emirates and not too many incomings, there is reportedly one. And it's Anderlecht's Albert Sambi-Lokonga, who is reportedly on the verge of signing for Arsenal. So according to a tweet from respected journalist Fabrizio Romano, the deal is pretty much almost done and dusted. He is highly rated with bags of potential, and with it seemingly that only a medical stands in the way of him becoming an Arsenal player, this is something that Arsenal fans can definitely get excited about, that they finally got a player arriving at the club. And now we have our transfer roundup. This is where I take a look at some of the other news and transfers going on in the footballing world. And first up, Bayern Munich chief Oliver Kahn has stated that he is optimistic about the club keeping Kingsley Coman despite reported interest from Liverpool. According to The Athletic, Raheem Sterling is quite open to offers for a move away from Manchester City. However, reportedly Pep Guardiola wants to keep him at the Etihad. According to Tuttosport, Juventus are hoping to get a deal for Santos teenager Caio Jorge. And finally, reports are stating that after Gareth Bale's £600,000 a week contract with Real Madrid expires next summer, he is going to retire from club football. However, he would still want to play for Wales and feature in the 2022 World Cup. So that's everything for today's OneFootball Daily News. As always, check out all the other content that we've got here, and until next time, I will see you all later.